So ADA has been on a downtrend over the past couple of days, and you can see that we are currently trading within this region that I set out in my previous update, where I mentioned I was looking at for a correction. And it's possible that what we are forming right now is a 5-wave move to the downside. And if we do have a 5-wave structure that's playing out, then that could be bearish. And what we could see is a deeper move to the downside, where we then breach below this level at 59.22 cents. And if that's the case, that will then mean that what we are forming is a bigger WXY structure to the downside. And so what I'll do is I'll set out the Y wave target. So if I bring in the fib tool and bring this up to 68.55 cents. And so worst case scenario, what we could see is ADA potentially reach anywhere between 52.41 cents to 55.17 cents. Best case scenario, what we could have is a move to the upside that's playing out, where it's possible that we ended up bottoming out at this level. And that level sits at 60.61 cents. And if that's the case, then what we don't have is the 5-wave structure. And instead, what we'll have is a WXYXZ structure. And from then on out, what we can see is a reversal to the upside, where we then breach above the local top. And that'll then confirm a bigger WXY structure to the upside, like so. And so again, what I'll do is I'll set up the Y wave target for this scenario. So if I bring this to 60.61 cents, and yeah, best case scenario, ADA could potentially reach anywhere between 70.15 cents to 72.61 cents. Now, as it stands, we did retest the 50 EMA, and so it's possible that we are still bearish, and what we could have forming within the Y wave is a WXY structure. And if that's the case, then the X wave would typically reach anywhere between 50 to 18.2% of the W wave. So if I bring in the fib tool and bring this down to 60.61 cents, and so this region between 64.46 cents to 67.56 cents is going to be key in determining if whether or not we are bullish or bearish. So if I just set this target out, so we haven't yet tapped into this range. Now, if we were to tap into this range and get rejected, that would then confirm this WXY structure to the downside. However, if we were to exceed this range, that would then confirm the WXY structure to the upside, where ADA could then tap into this range. And so there is still further confirmation that's required in determining if whether or not we are bullish or bearish. Us actually retesting the 50 MA is a good sign, and we actually are trading above the 50 MA as it stands. And so I am looking for the bulls to continue to drive the price of ADA up at least towards the 200 DMA. And yeah, if we get rejected, then that will then confirm a WXY structure to the downside. However, if we were to exceed this range, that will then confirm that we're bullish, and we could then tap into this range here. And it is worth noting that on the hourly chart, we are within the overbought conditions, and so the bulls are slowly starting to lose the momentum. And so yeah, it's possible that we then get rejected, and then we see that further push to the downside, where we then potentially even tap into this range here. And if I zoom out and go in a daily chart, I mentioned in the previous update that we had a death cross event that was taking place. And you can see that the 50 EMA ended up crossing the 200 DMA, which is bearish. And so it's very much possible that we could see a deeper move to the downside play out. And so short term, it could be slightly bearish. However, in the midterm and in the long term, I am bullish. And you can also see that the bulls have had the momentum. However, they've not really had that much of an impact on the price action of ADA and the crypto space in general. And so that is slightly concerning in the short term. And so yeah, we could see that push to the downside. However, that would be a really good opportunity to be buying in at these low prices, even dollar cost averaging at this price that we're at the moment. And yeah, in the midterm and in the long term, I'm still bullish. But of course, this is something I'm going to be tracking in the days and weeks to come, and I'll keep you guys updated. And so yeah, that's just my update on Cardano and ADA. Hopefully you found this useful, and if you did, then feel free to hit the like button, and if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.